G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Guess what? It's only a few days away now. Our club exhibition and sale is on very soon. 15th and 16th of May, depends when this video comes up online. But it should be only a few days away when I load this video on. So 15, 16 of May 2021, it's exciting times. Everyone's really raring to go. I know some of the trees that are going into the exhibition are going to look spectacular. Plus one of our members is selling his entire collection, and these are really advanced trees. So if you're in Melbourne, Victoria, and you don't want to miss this chance, come on down. It's on the weekend, 15, 16 of May, and I'll be there and everyone else in the club will be there. So look forward to seeing you all there. Now today's video I wanted to just quickly touch on is show preparation. Nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy, but so far I've pretty much selected all the trees that I need to put in the display, what I need to do to prepare them and things like that. So I've been preparing them over a while anyway. But two things that I always do: the trees are ready in terms of styling, wiring, etc. They're ready. They've been ready for weeks. But now it's the finishing touches. So a couple of little points I want to make is the pot, having a nice clean pot. Now what I do, maybe sounds a bit weird for people, but this is what I do. So I've already cleaned these pots, but they're not too bad. So it's just been raining today, so unfortunately it's just a bit of water on them, nothing too fancy. But for example, this tree, I'm giving away which one I'm going to put in the display anyway. So I come in close, but you see there's a nice sheen to it. It's a nice, unfortunately it was wet and it's not giving you the best look, but it's been cleaned. And I don't use water and soap, I use baby oil. Yep, cheapo Woolies supermarket stuff. That's $2 or $2.50, I can't remember. You put a bit on a rag and you wipe the pots pretty much. Don't go nuts, don't go too overboard with the oil. Just nicely a rag that's nicely dense with a bit of oil, and just wipe it away. And I did that about a week ago, so now it's kind of settled in. It's not too glossy and shiny, but that's what I do to get a nice clean pot. The next thing is, I've got a couple of trees I want to do it to, is you can see there's no moss on the pots or anything like that. There's a bit of weeds, we'll get rid of that, but time to moss the pots, moss the surface. That's the thing I leave till now, just because of our summer, autumn now, and it's pretty cold today actually. But I collected the moss yesterday, and am now just getting it ready to put on the trees. So because there wasn't much around in summer and coming into early autumn, hasn't been much now, seems to be picking up a bit. So I just went and collected, and going to use that now. So putting moss on trees, very important. I'll leave it to the last minute or last few days, just because it looks fresh and nice. And if you get it right on there, we've got a few days of rain coming up, so it'll be perfect. It's going to keep it nice and moist. Hear the drops, probably hearing it in the background, but that's what I do now. So I'm going to just prepare the moss that I collected, and I'll put it on these trees. So you can see nice shiny pot now. Now we've just got to get the surface right, cover it with moss, and I've got buckets of it, like buckets of moss. So I did all right. So I'm just going to prepare that moss and put it on the tree. Now I've done videos on moss preparation before, but I would show you again. So I'll get a piece of moss like this that I just collected, and there's quite a bit of old soil on there. So I just get a knife, get a little area, and just scrape it off. Scrape off as much. So just scrape off the dirt as much as you can. Don't go too crazy and try and eliminate the moss itself, but just the thickness. Get rid of that thickness. Get rid of as much as you can. Sometimes that falls a piece. Then I'll give it a wash in some water. Get rid of the fines a little bit. Sometimes pieces break off, which is okay. So now I've got two nice little pieces, and I just work with what I've got. So usually I put them on a tray, ready to think. So usually I just don't go straight on. I just put them on a tray and do quite a few of those, and then have them ready, and then start to position it when I've got like a tray of moss here ready to go. So I just slowly prepare a whole full tray, and then work on it. So I'll be back once I've got a tray of moss to use. All right, so I should have enough now ready to go. So just gonna give it just going to work out what I want to do and have the tree looking at me. There's the front. It's not a pretty job, this one. It's very dirty and very filthy. Yeah, just trying to work in different angles of the moss with the tree. Now, I think I've told you before, you got to work around the outside of the moss and try and press that in as much as possible, because that is where it hooks into the soil more. And I like to little plump it up in the middle kind of thing, so it looks nice and not too flat. I hope that makes sense, but I'll just go around. I have to give the pot a nice clean later, but getting the moss on is the priority at the moment. Go around the edges, make sure that's nicely pressed in. You can use your fingers or you can use a spatula of some sort, you know, the back end of this to get that going. Yeah, so really important, get the tree looking good now for the exhibition. So the front is really important, so save your best moss for the front of the tree, of course. The best looking moss, leave it at the front. That's something I do. You find the best pieces, you know, you want to use them for the front of the tree. And I always look for the best, and I try and do the front and then finish off the back with the less prettier pieces, I guess. So it's just a matter of just working the moss around. Now I'll have a few days to settle in, which is good for the exhibition. You wore it more and more, and it'll look even better and better. Sometimes you need small pieces, so it's important to have little pieces as well. Now the reason I need small pieces is, see how there's a crevice in there? You know, move my finger away, there's a little crevice in there that we'll fill in. Now you can't put a monster piece in there because it looks silly. But by putting a little one in there, it highlights the roots and how, you know, the definition of the roots. So you see now I'll put one in there and you can see that it defines how the roots are. So there you go. See how nice it's looking already? Doesn't take long. A few pieces of moss and we're looking good. So I'm just going to finish this one off and I'll come back and show you one more. Give you a sneak peek of what I'm putting in the show. All right? I'll see you guys. So you can look how nice the tree is transformed with a nice moss and clean pot. Looking good, ready for the show. I'm going to do one more tree, just to give you a sneak peek of what I'm doing, which other one's going in. I think it's no surprise if you've been following my channel for a while. You know this little guy's going in, but you can see it's a bit of a yucky base, you know, at the moment. So if you come down to the show, you'll see this tree. And I've got planning to really nice display with all my mini Shimpaku. So I know if you're not, you got to see it in person if you're in Melbourne, guys. But I know the overseas people look forward to the videos. You got to see it in person. I'd just highly recommend it. So this is more of a some of this old moss I'm just cleaning off, and some of the weeds. I can see some of the weeds. Again, I've already treated the pot with the oil, and now I'm just going to go put moss on this to make it really stand out. Also, just sometimes there's, you know, wires that have wired the tree in. You know, when you wire trees in, you want to make sure you cover those so they're not visible. So it's important as well. So let me clean this up and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, guys. So there you go. There's another little one completed. Nice mossed, clean pot. All the trees ready to be displayed. So there you go. Not much more I can show you than that, but I'm just going to keep going, working through my display trees and make sure they're all mossed, and even my sales trees I'll be mossing them to make them look the best, of course. So anyway, guys, I hope to see many of you there at our exhibition on the weekend, and for the people overseas and interstate, I should have videos up soon after that of the show. But if you're in Melbourne, please come down and have a look, come say hello, see these trees in person. All right, guys, I'll see you then. Take care. Bye.